We bring you the lunch edition of MBC News with me, Ubile Kaisa. But first, the headlines. Government guarantees to make the 5 billion Kwacha Constituency Development Fund performance-based once it rolls out. Councils advised to prioritize hygiene if the country is to deal with cholera. And Mzuzu University suspends staff over alleged academic fraud. And now the news in detail. Government says the 5 billion Kwacha Constituency Development Fund will be performance-based once it rolls out. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri has warned that all non-performing councils stand to lose benefits from the funds. Austin Fugula reports.
During an engagement with the Chiratsuru District Council, the minister indicated that the 5 billion Kwacha Constituency Development Fund (CDF) is a performance-based, just like what happens with governance to enable service delivery JSID funds. It is for this reason that all councils across the country need to manage and utilize resources under CDF effectively, unlike in the past when some councils failed to effectively utilize the funds yet continued to receiving funding in the following financial years. On utilization of resources, Piri expressed satisfaction of Chiratsuru Council officials for its efforts in utilizing resources despite operating with over 40% vacancy rate.
They are sitting at 48% vacancy rate. The other councils that are at 82%, but the ones that are 82% absorption rate seem to be 40%. The ones that are at 48%, the absorption rate is way above 70%. That is something else. The belief at times have been the more workers you have, the more output it becomes. But Chiratsuru has proven it otherwise.
District Commissioner for Chiratsuru, Ernestina Mame, attributed the success to teamwork and support for members of parliament, MPs and councillors. In Palombe, the minister challenged the council officials to change their working attitude and ensure they serve the public in their best interest. Piri then stated that time has come for the council to relocate the council offices to Migowi, as the current site at the Boma is prone to natural disasters. The local government minister proceeded with his tour to Mulanje, where he told councillors and members of parliament that funds for CDF are not owned by either of them, but they are meant to serve and transform communities.
One thing that I'm going to show Malawians is that Mulanje District Council is ready for the CDF, and they will utilize the resources with quality, as you have seen today, with proper governance structures that are in place. We are so sure they shall do well. I know for a fact that they can improve here and there. We have taken note of those. We will be supporting them where necessary, but all in all, Mulanje is ready.
The 5 billion Kwacha Constituency Development Fund is expected to be rolled out in the 2026-2027 financial year and will benefit all councils across the country. Austin Fugula, MBC News.
Governance and human resources experts have supported government's decision to hire district council administrators on a fixed contract basis. The development was announced by the local government minister Ben Piri during a series of town and council meetings he conducted countrywide. Chisomo Break reports.
Weighing in on his views on the development, a human resource expert, Bright Lemani, has described the decision as a step in the right direction in improving service delivery.
It's the right move in the right direction because it will propel high performance in the civil service. Basically, and traditionally, we have seen people taking civil service for granted. So this is a shift from the traditional public management to new public management, which look at running government as a business. So I believe that with this kind of determination, civil servants will have targets to achieve, and they'll be working hard to achieve those targets. In so doing, service delivery is going to improve drastically in the civil service, and the customer satisfaction, people who benefit from government are going to be happy with the service provision. So I really recommend the government for taking this direction.
Commenting on the matter, Publicity Secretary for the Political Scientists Association of Malawi, Mavuto Pamus, welcomed the development, noting that the civil service has been working based on a laissez-faire approach.
Staff and any workers within the local governance system must show results on the work which they do every month, every quarter, every year, such that their continued existence as civil servants, as public servants, as local government workers should be based on what is it that they are giving back to Malawians in terms of results. So secondly, that also helps to give the taxpayers value for money, because all the public servants are actually paid by the taxpayers. So people should actually be confident that the money which they are giving out to the government in form of taxes is giving back value in form of results. Ultimately, this approach towards the contract-based management or hiring local government staff on contract basis will help to harness the potential, the development potential that is massively lying idle in the districts. And generally, I think for Malawi actually to develop in line with the Malawi 2063 agenda, that's the way to go. So the Minister of Local Government needs to be commended for this.
The development comes a few weeks after the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development issued a directive that every civil servant should be residing within the council where they work. Chisomo Break, NBC News, Blantyre.
Deputy Minister of Health Charles Chilambola has asked city councils in the country to put their effort on promoting sanitation and hygiene if the country is to deal with cholera. He was speaking when he visited Blantyre City Council and Limbi Community Hospital in Blantyre. The call comes amid revelations that of the 77 cholera cases which have been registered in the country since the onset of the 2025-2026 rainy season, 38 are from Blantyre City. Temba Mwale has compiled this report.
Speaking during an interface with councillors and other city council officials, Chilambola said proper hygiene does not only promote health but also supports economic development. He has therefore called on councils to adhere to the 15% budgetary allocation to the health sector, which he said will help boost preventive health, including promoting good hygiene and sanitation. The Deputy Minister says government is committed to contain cholera outbreaks.
We have seen that the water which people are getting in these areas like Chilomoni and others, it has been proven that there are fecal matters. So apart from civic educating the people, as we preach the mindset change, we are also looking at vaccines. Cholera vaccine will be we'll start giving cholera vaccines to the communities which are affected, not just Blantyre, but different parts of Malawi as well. And then we are already also providing chlorine and other services, and we are trying our best to treat the people who have been affected. So the main thing which we are preaching now is about sanitation and hygiene. Let's keep our environment clean. Let's go to the toilets so that we control these outbreaks.
And speaking after visiting Limbe Community Hospital, the minister said plans are at an advanced stage to upgrade the facility so that it serves residents of Limbe efficiently.
As a ministry, we are working on upgrading this facility that it can have other facilities which are not currently available. So as we work on that one, I think some of the challenges will also be sorted out as we are upgrading the facility. This facility has already on paper been named to be a community hospital. But at a community hospital, you are supposed to have a theater, a laboratory where there are more facility or more services being offered than what is offered at the moment, a maternity which is bigger than what is currently available. So in actual sense, mostly it will be like increasing the bed space itself, bringing in the theatre, upgrading the lab. Currently they cannot offer blood transfusion. It means at the Zomwe Community Hospital will be able to offer blood transfusion because there will be antenatal mothers which will require transfusion and other services. That means talk of the radiology will be available in the dental and other facilities which are not currently available, so that we decongest Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital.
Assistant Director of Health and Social Services at Blantyre City Council, Aligiao Nyemera, attributes the high cholera cases in Blantyre to poor hygiene practices, including lack of pit latrines.
There is poor sanitation and hygiene practices that are happening in mostly in the urban areas. Like you find 5 households, they are sharing one toilet, and then as a result, that toilet when it's full, it's not being emptied. But then when the rains come, they wash away the feces and all the stuff that are coming in the toilet, contaminating the water sources. And also in the areas that are really hit hard, like Suya and Mlunguzi in Chilomoni, we found that the boreholes, there are 12 boreholes, these boreholes are contaminated, and even the other water sources are also contaminated. So people are drinking the polluted water from the unprotected water sources.
Meanwhile, Deputy Mayor for Blantyre City Council, Councillor Gerard Lipikwe, has hailed the visit by the Deputy Minister, saying it will motivate them to work extra hard on promoting sanitation and hygiene. He said he is also optimistic that problems facing Limbi Community Hospital will soon be history. Temba Male, MBC News, Blantyre.
Authorities at Mangochi Municipal Council have been urged to embrace and support government electrification project under the banner of accelerating sustainable and clean energy access transformation project implementation. Speaking in an interview with MBC following the recent engagement of the Ministry of Energy and ESCOM officials with Mangochi Councils, Ministry of Energy Public Relations Officer Joanna Nyirenda said government is implementing accelerating sustainable and clean energy access transformation project ASCENT to increase access to electricity by 2030. Sotin Ndasi has compiled this report read by Dave Omar.
The 2063 Malawi Development Blueprint puts electricity as one of the enablers towards achieving commercial and industrialization for social and economic development of the country. To achieve this, the Ministry of Energy, in conjunction with the Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi ESCOM, with funding from the World Bank, is implementing electrification project called Accelerating Sustainable and Clean Energy Access Transformation ASCENT project in 27 districts excluding Likoma. According to Public Relations Officer for the Ministry, Joanna Nyirenda, ASCENT project is building up on the success of Malawi Electricity Access Project, MEAP, to increase access to electricity in Malawi.
So the project aims to accelerate electricity access within the country in the urban areas. Now Malawi is at 25.9%. Globally, different countries are fighting for 100% electricity access by 2030. But for Malawi, yes, we signed for those, but we wanted to be realistic with where we are now, looking that we are almost 4 years away from 2030. As such, we set a target of 70% electricity access.
She said apart from the urban electrification, there is energy access for schools and health facility infrastructure budget with $20 million United States dollars and called on councils to support implementation of the project. For his part, Chief Executive Officer for Mangochi Municipality, Ernest Kadzokoya, described the development as a positive step towards supporting residents who are in need of new electricity connections.
And we are really proud government in collaboration with ESCOM for securing this grant from World Bank that will really help accelerate and help our people access electricity within the Mangochi municipality. It's quite ironic that we are talking of a municipality where we still have some locations which are not yet electrified. But now with the coming in of this project, we are very much assured now that all the locations that have been suffering, that have been longing for this electricity, they will now get electrified.
Mangochi is one of the districts expected to benefit from the Ascent project.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Government guarantees to make the 5 billion Kwacha Constituency Development Fund performance-based once it rolls out. Councils advised to prioritize hygiene if the country is to deal with cholera. And Mzuzu University suspends staff over alleged academic fraud. Welcome back. The Pesticides Control Board has urged companies dealing with chemicals in the country to prioritize training and safety of their workers in order to protect workers and the public. This follows the board's inspection tour to some companies in Lilongwe, which exposed several safety gaps among chemical handling companies. Smart Shalika reports.
Speaking after visiting Bear Malawi Limited Export Trading Group and Mitch Waste Disposal in Lilongwe, PCB Board Chairperson Victor Markopa said the tour reviewed a number of concerns, including lack of protective gear for workers, poor storage of expired chemical products, and untrained personnel handling hazardous substances.
What we observed is that the workers are not protected in almost all the facilities we visited. Besides not keeping the chemicals in the way that we prescribe, the workers who handle these chemicals are not well protected. And the final problem we also notice is that the expired ones or the chemicals which are no longer used are not being disposed properly. The challenge is we don't have facilities where we can dispose such kind of chemicals in Malawi.
Bear Malawi Managing Director Dalitso Gadama acknowledged gaps in PCB certified training among some chemical handlers, but said the company conducts internal training for its staff. She, however, welcomed the PCB move to standardize training and certification.
Currently, our personnel are being trained internally. So we've just been made aware as well that annually they also need to be trained by PCB. So that will be taken into account and we're going to improve on that one.
Meanwhile, ETG Marketing Manager Felix Kazambala said the company has taken the concerns raised seriously and will work towards improving compliance.
It's just unfortunate. You heard the one who is always here. He mentioned that he was on leave temporarily, but he kept the equipment at office, which is not a law. So we have taken note of that and will put into consideration.
The PCB says it will continue conducting inspections to ensure companies adhere to chemical safety regulations. Smacharika, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Mzuzu University has suspended some of its staff and withheld the graduation of 55 students over alleged academic fraud currently under investigation. In a statement, the university says the affected students are part of 103 whose integrated management information system accounts were compromised amid reports that some degrees were awarded irregularly. Nzoni has since clarified that none of the suspected students is a first-class candidate, adding that its legal team, with support from the Anti-Corruption Bureau, is investigating the matter. The Blantyre Water Board has launched its tree planting season with a call to the public to actively get involved in the reforestation drive along the Moody catchment area. Speaking at the event, Board Chairperson for Blantyre Water Board, Stanley Chirwa, said planting and taking care of trees must be a continuous activity and communities should aim at planting trees beyond targets.
It's a continuous issue. We need as many trees as possible, and we plan to have as many stakeholders help us with this. Like, for example, right now, today we are planting about 5,600 trees. We've been given support by institutions such as Deloitte and Old Mutual. Karibu Academy has also assisted us in that. The Rotary Club and the Rotary Club of Limbe has also assisted us with that. Lions Boxers Club as well as the Institute of Internal Auditors and the Environmental Society. So ideally, we don't plan to have any targets. We want to plant as many trees as possible, using as many means as possible, with as many partners as possible. So putting targets to such an extent will be putting limits to having towards a sustainable future. And our belief is that we shouldn't have limits. So if there are any partners out there or any individuals whatsoever, let's plant as many trees as possible. It's for the good of all of us, not just for Blantyre City.
And Deputy Director in the Forestry Department, responsible for Southern Zone, William Mitembe, has urged communities to take a leading role in taking care of the trees to achieve higher survival rates.
But in the Zone South, I would place the survival rate on average at slightly 62%. Because in some areas, after planting, unfortunately, the trees are destroyed by livestock. Some don't take care of the planted tree. We encourage people to continue planting trees because the southern zone, I think the level of degradation is very severe. And because of this, to avoid the effects of climate change, everybody should be responsible to take care and plant more trees in the region. So that all those degraded areas are restored.
The Kadria Muslim Association of Malawi, QMAM, has launched a program under which beneficiaries are being assisted with farm inputs, including fertilizer. Speaking in Area 24 at the launch of the pilot phase of the program, QMAM's national chairman, Musa Balasani, said the program, which has targeted 10,000 beneficiaries across the country, is aimed at dealing with dependency on handouts among both Muslims and Christians. He spoke to Patrick Dampula.
We thought it is very nice and important to start this project because we understand that whenever people, they have got food, any kind of work which they are going to do, they are going to profit them because they have got food at their houses. That's why we have decided now to embark on agriculture.
So how many people are starting today this program?
There are about 44 people who are gathered here at Upire Club in Lilongwe, area 44B.
Across Malawi, how many people would you want to reach out to?
Approximately, we are engaging that we need to have about 10,000 for a start so that we should see the productivity at the end of the day.
So is this just an assistance or it's in form of a loan?
It's not an assistance. It is in form of a loan because our aim, we want to remove the mentality which majority has that Muslims likes things that are called the sadaqah, but we want to train our fellow Muslims now to stand on their steps.
Blantyre City Mayor Isaac Jomo Osman says he will consider the proposal by the Malawi Boxing Association MABA to introduce Mayor's Trophy for boxing. Osman said this when MABA presented him with young talented boxers from Blantyre who won medals at the national finals hosted in Mzuzu. Jomo explains.
It's an welcome idea, as you know that it's my aim as city father to bring back the glory that I lost. If you remember, Blantyre was the very best place where we had a lot of boxers. We're talking about Masamba, Kayunis, Chitenjes. We had a lot of boxers just because of some of the challenges. Now those names are going. We need to bring back the boxing to the city. It's one of the things that will help to make our youth be busy. As soon as a lot of youth it doesn't have something to do, and we don't have a lot of entertainment in Blantyre. So boxing is part of entertainment. We have taken note what they have said. I'll sit down with the team and see how best we're gonna do with it. After that, we'll come up and tell them what we are going to offer.
And Malawi Boxing Association President Francis Kadzakaloa says they came up with a proposal as the Blantyre City Mayor is also well known in various sporting activities.
We came here to propose
that we should have a Blantyre Mayor's trophy, a boxing trophy, this one, knowing that Blantyre has been quiet in terms of boxing. These days we hear of M1 Center, Bremat, and other places where they're doing boxing in the country or in Lilongwe. But we haven't heard that about Blantyre. So we're doing our best that we should organize this championship so that we will rekindle the boxing in Blantyre.
And that item concludes this lunch edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. Government guarantees to make the 5 billion Kwacha Constituency Development Fund performance-based once it rolls out. Councils advised to prioritize hygiene if the country is to deal with cholera. And Mzuzu University suspends staff over alleged academic fraud. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Obile Kaisa. Many thanks for watching. Have a lovely afternoon.
What's your name? Gary, huh? It's my game.
We put everything into this. Those that can do it and succeed,
how to fix it.
This city has been just a cookbook. It's part of
being hit here
with the latest global news and insightful documentary.
Transition.
Understanding.
But if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only know ye me.
Boma la Malawi linakhazikitsa masomphenya amene akufotokoza kuti pofika mchaka cha 2063 dziko lino lidzakhala lotukuka. Mundondemekoyi dziko la Malawi likuyika chidwi pa ntchito za ulimi, za mafakitale komanso chitukuko cha matauni. Izi kuti zitheke pakufunikira kuti maboma onse dziko muno muzichitika ntchito zimene zikugwirizana ndikupherezeka kumasomphenya amenewa a 2063. Mogwirizana ndi mfundozi, makhonsolo onse a maboma pansi pa ulamuliro wa mtsogoleri wa dziko lino Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika likulimbikitsa mfundo za mphamvu kwa anthu kuti anthu akumudzi kudzera ku makhonsolo awo adzitha kusankha ntchito za chitukuko chimene iwo akufuna mogwirizana ndi masomphenya a dziko la Malawi. President Mutharika mu mfundo zake adalonjeza kuti mpofunika kuti pakhale ndalama zokwanira bwino zoyendetsera chitukuko madera onse aphungu a ku nyumba ya malamulo, ndipo iye ananenetsa kuti boma lake lidzipereka 5 billion kwacha yogwirira ntchito chitukuko zimenezi. Ku chigawo cha kumpoto kwa dziko lino maboma achitipa ndi karonga ndofunikira kwambiri pa ntchito ya chitukuko kudzera mu ndondomekoyi. Kuchitipa kokha kuli madera aphungu okwana asanu pamene kukaronga alipo asanu ndi limodzi kapena kuti 6. Izi zikutanthauza kuti maboma onse awiriwa kudzipita ndalama za nkhani zokwana 55 billion kwacha pa chaka zogwirira ntchito za chitukuko. Malinga ndi nkulunganira ntchito zakagwiridwe ka ntchito kapena kuti Director of Public Works boma la Chitipa Amishek Gondwe akuti khonsolo yawo ikugwira ntchito za chitukuko zingapo zimene zithandize kutukula bomali pozindikira kuti bomali inayandikanaso ndi dziko la Tanzania komanso Zambia.
Ngati CDF uzibwera 5 billion constituency yonse izakhala kufuna kwa council kuti kodi muna singathe kutenga ku constituency